Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Scott, this is Book Invasion. Greetings! Today we're going to do another Twitter Picks My Book Tag. And today, the selection is Book Snob Book Tag. This was created by Tia and All the Books. Her channel is awesome, go check her out. I was tagged by Nicole at _read past my bedtime and Regina from Regina's Haunted Library. Go check her out too, she's really cool. She talks about her horror books. She's also an author. She does drive-in movie videos, which are awesome. Anyway, let's get into it. Question number 1. Adaptation Snob. Do you always read the book before you see the movie? I do not, but I try to. So usually there was a time when pre-BookTube where I would look up like movie information, movie releases, or I would just Google search like books to movies, and I would research kind of what movies are coming out that are based on books. And I would kind of go that way to see if there's cool stuff coming out. That's how, and usually when they have those, it's just the movie rights were purchased for the book, but nothing's been developed, or there's been a director announced, but nobody's doing anything with it. So then I would read the book, and then it would be like a year and a half later, and the movie would come out, and then I kind of forget what happened in the book. So, I mean, I just try to pick up books that I think will be interesting to see in movies, and so I kind of search and kind of figure out who's signed on or what movie rights have been purchased, and kind of pick up those books just to give them a read, because I know, like, chances are the fandom will kick up when the movie comes out, and so I can play my hipster card and be like, I read this book before, it was cool, which I have claimed on when I read The Martian by Andy Weir. I read that book really early when it came out. I sent a Facebook message to the author, and I said, hey, I have a copy, I would really like to get it signed, and he said, okay, mail it to my P.O. box with return shipping included, and then I'll sign it and send it back. And so I have a signed copy of The Martian from Andy Weir, which was awesome. And then they announced the director and Matt Damon and all that stuff, and the movie came out, and then it blew up. And then, Ready Player One I read early. I did not knowing that would be a movie. It's a Spielberg movie. That book I read just because that book was awesome, and I loved it. It definitely hit me in all the nostalgia feels and the locations and the games and the references. Bird Box I read. I think I found that somewhere that movie rights were purchased for that. And there's a bunch of other books on my bookshelf, like The Girl with All the Gifts, that was turned into a movie. Which other ones? There's probably a bunch of others. And then there's more that I've read that movie rights have been purchased. Like The Sisters Brothers by Patrick DeWitt, that was turned into a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Joaquin Phoenix, which I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen the movie. But if you want to read that book's pretty cool. And yeah, so I kind of pick up some books that when I am bored, and look up which books have been purchased. The one I'm looking forward to is Hugh Howey. I think his book Beacon 23 was recently purchased for a television series. Oh yeah, and then Good Omens and all that stuff. Like, I've read Good Omens. So anyway, I try to read the book early when I think the movie rights have been purchased, and then I'll go see the movie. But if the movie's already out, I won't prevent myself from seeing the movie before I read the book. Like, I'll just go see it if I want to see it. But chances are I never go to the movies anyway, so I'll have time to read the book like 3 years later, and then I'll get the movie on streaming or something. So, do I always read the book before I see the movie? No. Number 2, format snob. You can only choose one format in which to read books for the rest of your life. Which do you choose, physical, ebooks, or audiobooks? So it would be a tough call between a hardcover books and audiobooks. And because the audiobooks are great, but you can't highlight or like view it or annotate it, or you can, like, if I had an audiobook of The Name of the Wind, I would never know how to spell Kvothe's name. Like if I saw that written down, I'd be like, what is that? And so you don't get like that tangible vision on the page to know what the book is talking about. Plus, in audiobooks, you don't have like maps, or you don't have illustrations. You miss out on some of those things, like the little extra pieces, like the little fonts in the beginning of the chapters or something like that. So, audiobooks are awesome, and it helps me read during my commutes and while I'm doing other things. But for the rest of my entire life, I would like to have a book collection and a library of things, and feel the physical hardcover book in my hand. And look at it, and look at the maps and the dust jackets and the end papers and all that good stuff. So maybe a hardcover would be my format of choice. Ship Snob, would you date or marry a non-reader? Yes, because I'm kind of married to a non-reader. She reads mostly like non-fiction books. She has read a few novels here and there, but she's not an avid reader. We don't really talk about books and things. Number 4, Genre Snob. You have to ditch one genre never to be read again for the rest of your life. Which ones do you ditch? I would probably ditch romance. Because you get romance in some of the other fantasy books and sci-fi books, and all the other books can have a romance in it, but it just doesn't have to be the center of the story. So that would be my answer for that. Number 5, Uber Genre Snob. You can only choose to read from one genre for the rest of your life. Which genre do you choose? So I would say sci-fi, because that's what I enjoy. The speculative fiction, science fiction, where it explores the ideas of what a future world could be like, with just a twinge of extra on our current technology. I like that kind of thing. I like to read about possible futures of existence with inventions of science fiction, all that good stuff. Didn't see that one coming, did you? Number 6, Community Snob. Which genre do you think receives the most snobbery from the bookish community? Oh, breaks. I think that, there's the YA fantasy gets a lot of hype just because that's what the book community is based on. There's also the fantasy, like the adult fantasy, like fandoms, which are just brutal, between your Brandon Sandersons and your Pierce Browns and your Jay Kristoffs and all those different things, the Tolkiens and versus the whatevers. So I think there's a lot of snobbery because you don't read high fantasy, or you don't read hard science fiction versus regular science fiction. So I don't know. There's snobbery all around. Like I kind of read goofy sci-fi and weird sci-fi. Like there's no reason that I think I should be a snob about my books. They don't really expand your knowledge of real things. It's all pretend. Come on, Subaru, you don't need to leave 20 car lengths in front of you. Let's go. Snobbery Recipient. Have you ever been snubbed for something that you have been reading, or for reading in general? I don't know. I don't think so. You can snub me for my silly reading books and all that good stuff. I don't care. I probably have been snobbed more for the things that I haven't read. Because I haven't read a lot of classic sci-fi. I haven't read a lot of any any big author in the last 10 years. I haven't read any of those. So I think I get snobbed around by those fans. Alright, let's get around this guy. Golly gracious. So that is my book snob tag. Thank you for creating the tag, Tia, and all the books. Thank you for tagging me, Nicole, Nikki, as I read them past my bedtime. And Regina's on the library. Thanks for joining me on my ride this morning. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.